If you're a fan of internet horror or analog horror or digital horror or anything like that, you've probably seen some downright evil beings and things happen. From creatures that want to make the entire world suffer by consuming them, to secret government agencies that cover up the existence of Lovecraftian beings, it's safe to say that there's a lot of internet horror that just makes you squirm. It's kind of the entire point. But today in this video, I want to discuss internet horror series that have the highest human kill counts. I'm going to be diving through the internet, all of my mass internet horror knowledge, to find what I think is the worst of the worst. These are entities and corporations and series that have been encapsulated in analog horror that have killed and maimed the most. And my goal is to find the series here on YouTube that has the highest number of kills and crown it the king of killing. And if you think that's pretty interesting, stick around to the end of the video so you see who comes in first place. If you care, if you don't, whatever. And let's see what the series with the highest kill count is, shall we? Keep in mind, I don't know about every single internet horror series that exists. My brain's big, but it's not that big. So if I miss one, or if this is like in a different order than you think it should be in, let me know in the comments. Argue about it there. First for the video is Gemini Home Entertainment, and we're going to be starting off strong with this entry. GHE is a very famous analog horror series right here on YouTube, and essentially the series follows a sentient planetoid body that's known as the Iris as it journeys through the universe and consumes the world by dropping horrific creatures and spawning disgusting, nightmarish beings to take over that world. These beings act like parasites, and they essentially consume all that's in their path. And I'm sure by the artwork that you're seeing on screen now, you fully get how disgusting it can be. That's like an insanely simplified version of the entire series. If you want to check out the full description of it, I'm probably going to make a video soon, but in the meantime, go watch Wendigoon's video or Nexpo's video if you want to get the full details. But if you don't care about that, that's pretty much the basics. So because of the nature of the series, death is going to happen pretty commonly. There's going to be a lot of people that die. But the video in the series that I want to draw your attention directly to is the Lethal Omen commercial video, because that's where the high kill count will begin. Essentially, this video is advertising a game called Lethal Omen, and it's essentially this kind of old shoot-'em-up game where you have to shoot things and kill pop-up things, and just, you can see it right here. And the entire video, for the most part, is pretty nondescript. It's pretty cool, actually. I actually enjoy playing that game, until you get to the end, when the player pans up to the sky, and right there is the Iris, which then looks at the planet and takes it over, killing everybody on the surface. And according to the Death Lists wiki, which, yes, that is a wiki I found during this research, this Iris killed 5,101,000,000 people by doing this. And that's just what they say. I don't know. Now, obviously, this is a video game world dying, and these aren't real people, but we don't want to pull at that string or this entire video falls apart. However, this entire video, this Lethal Omen commercial, it's kind of symbolism for the future of the series, for when the Iris comes to our real Earth and, you know, looks at it and takes us over and kills us by infecting us with parasitic entities. But yeah, 5.1 billion people dying is a pretty good way to start off the kill count, and that's not too shabby for the first section. However, overcoming that series by a pretty sizable margin is the Minerva Alliance. The Minerva Alliance is, again, another analog horror series here on YouTube. It's much smaller and less famous than the Gemini Home Entertainment is, and I actually never heard of this until now, but I think it's really cool, and I might make an entire video discussing it later, but again, we'll get to that. The series hasn't been updated in 4 years, so that gives us a pretty solid and easy countable kill count, but the entirety of it is shown through this emergency alert analog horror style system, which essentially discusses anomalous creatures and phenomenon that are very unusual and not real, pretty much. The Minerva Alliance self-proclaims themselves as a non-profit organization that sole purpose is to reveal anomalies to the people of the world because of the corrupt governments trying to hide them, which is essentially the reverse of the SCP Foundation, because the Minerva Alliance wants to show us these weird things, and the SCP Foundation wants to hide it. Anyways, these varying videos include, you know, horrifying subterranean monsters and giant proportioned creatures eating and consuming worlds, but for the purpose of this video and to get the kill count numbers to as high as we can, we want to look at the video that has Madame Claire in it. Who is Madame Claire, you might ask? Well, Madame Claire is a psychic savant, and this video is essentially her telling the future of the world and how it's going to end. The video starts off pretty normally by Madame Claire reading us their tarot cards and her zodiac signs and that kind of thing, the typical soothsaying stuff. But at the end of the video, Madame Claire decides to tell us about the future of humanity and how it's all gonna end. And her version of the future is pretty terrifying. She says things like, steel clouds will move over the Vistula, commencing an outbreak of chaos around the globe. In the fight against a sweeping ideology, a fruitless effort by a world power will commence in the jungle. An invisible yet deadly fire will rage in the motherland, and will continue to rage for eons after its birth. Obviously, if you didn't catch it by now, this is all symbolism talking about real-life events that have happened in our actual history. Except when Madame Claire talked about it, that was before all this happened. So she goes through 17 different things that talk about everything from the start of World War II to the end of the world. The start of World War II, the Vietnam War, the Chernobyl meltdown, Tiananmen Square, 9/11, tsunamis, the Fukushima meltdown, solar flares, Hurricane Harvey, a coup in the United States. And she says all these various things leading up to the final psychic vision for the future, which is the end of everything. The entire world's population is decimated. So with all of that death from World War II to the end of her psychic visions in the Minerva Alliance series, 9,198,935,525 people are counted as dead, which almost doubles the first kill count from Gemini Home Entertainment. Thank you, Madame Claire. I appreciate your foretelling of our imminent heat death. There's still higher kill counts to get to, and the next series that I want to talk about, you probably heard of, and you probably know just how disturbing it really is. Monument Mythos is one of, if not my actual favorite analog horror series on this platform. That Wendigoon video discussing it is one of the best videos on the entire platform itself. I just said platform twice in 2 sentences. Wow. You're a great scriptwriter, Jared. You're a great one. I'm 100% gonna make my own video on it eventually, but for now, we're just gonna be talking about the deaths that are caused in the different videos. If you don't know, and if you've been living under a rock, Monument Mythos is an analog horror series made in kind of a mockumentary style format. Essentially, it covers different national landmarks and historical events, but in an alternate history. In this alternate history, these landmarks are actually home to behemoth eldritch horrors and Lovecraftian entities. For instance, the Statue of Liberty actually houses a giant fleshy monster, and under the United States, a gigantic world-ending snake lives. Mount Rushmore is a Lovecraftian god, and there are giant trees that grow under monuments around the world. You get the point, right? And as you can imagine, a series that deals with the end-time entities and the world being dead, there's gonna be a lot of kills to count. So I have to harness my inner James A. Janice and go through all these videos. For the sake of counting the most kills possible, we're going to ignore the videos that have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deaths. And we're going to go on to the big videos like the Alcatraz Apocalypse video. In the video titled Alcatraz Apocalypse, we can see that in a flash of light, the entire world begins to crack, and something crawls out of that cracking world. An entity known as the Horned Serpent appears, and essentially it emerges from the inside of the earth and explodes it and kills everything, and you can see its little tentacles sticking out into space. This process, of course, kills all 7.8 billion people on the planet, and that's the first death count for the series. But oh no, we are not done yet, because there are more videos with more deaths. In the 11th episode of the series, called the Ed Dwight Paradox, we see how something called the Nixonverse is tied together. Now, the Nixonverse is kind of a spin-off subplot where Richard Nixon, the ex-US president, he becomes a god. That's right, Richard Nixon is a god in this universe. I digress. Without getting too deep into the plot lines, I gotta explain what happens here in this video. In the simplest and dumbed-down way possible, Richard Nixon and his god form ends up killing Ed Dwight, and he frames Ed Dwight's death like it was self-inflicted. Of course, it wasn't. He got him himself. Ed Dwight is a protagonist in the series. He's the creator of some monuments, and he essentially is not the evil guy like Richard Nixon is. Anyways, the truth of this death of Ed Dwight starts to get widely known, and people are beginning to speculate that something fishy is afoot. One thing leads to another, and Nixon ends up spiraling out of control and decides that the only way to salvage this entire thing is by fictionalizing himself and the world and derealizing it. As you can see in the clip that's playing now, it's pretty creepy. And him fictionalizing the world adds another steamy 7.9 billion deaths to the kill count for the Monument Mythos series. Meaning that Monument Mythos has a staggering kill total of over 15.7 billion people in its series run. And you might think, really, how can we get higher than 2 worlds ending? 2 entire worlds, globes, Earths, Terras being killed. Well, you just have to stick around for the winner of today's video, because it's gonna be insane, truly. And that series is located over on the Mr. Friends channel here on YouTube. Now, Mr. Friend is a pretty new channel as it relates to blowing up, because their popularity has been increasing like crazy in the last few years. I mean, literally crazy, these views are insane. Mr. Friend is an analog horror series channel here on YouTube that essentially focuses on megalophobia, thalassophobia, and astrophobia. He makes animations rather than slideshow stuff like the previous series in this video. He makes full-on animations, and in these animations is where we're gonna look to get these kills counted. I gotta say, I've never seen an analog horror series based in space before, and that is exactly what his captain series on this channel is called, When the Moon Wakes Up. And we're gonna get there, but we got stuff to do before that. In one of the first videos in the analog horror series on Mr. Friend's channel called The Earth Implodes, well, the Earth does just that. It implodes. The video starts with these 2 people on the moon, and eventually it pans over to this red orb. This red orb flies headfirst right into Earth, and it causes the implosion of the planet. This adds 8,109,000,000 kills to the kill count right off the bat, and we got a long way to go. The next video I want to draw your attention to is titled Giant Alien Harvests the Earth, and you can guess exactly what happens in this video based off that title. The video shows some kind of portal wormhole thing opening in space, and a gigantic hand reaching through, grabbing Earth, and pulling it in, killing everybody instantly. That adds another 8.1 billion people to the kill count, leaving us with 16 billion deaths already, and we just got started. Let's see how many times Mr. Friend can kill us all. Moving up even further on the channel, we have Jupiter Destroys the Earth and the International Space Station, which again, this guy's really good with his titles because that's exactly what happens. Jupiter heats up, it explodes, and it causes the heat death of everybody on Earth, adding another 8 billion to the kills. Mind you, this is the 3rd time that Mr. Friend has annihilated everybody on the planet Earth. Just making sure we get that across. Moving on upwards on the channel even further, we have Alien Destroys Earth and Mars, which, you guessed it, involves a gigantic alien opening up a portal, looking around, and destroying Earth and Mars. Except this time, the video is in a point of view from people exploring space looking at these planets. They're getting kind of like a tour, and they see this happen, and the alien sees them in this plane. What does the alien do, you might ask? Well, he grabs the moon, and he throws the entire moon at the space station, killing like the 4 guys that are on board, which is actually pretty funny, I can't even lie. But that adds another 8 billion people when the Earth got destroyed. You can kind of see where this is going, because Mr. Friend has a habit of destroying the Earth and everything we love. But again, moving up next, we have the space whales eat Earth, where space whales eat Earth. And you can never guess that, right? That adds another 8 billion to the kill count. Next, there's these naked monsters called Goliath entities that eat Earth with its stomach that opens up into a mouth. Not only do they eat Earth, they also eat the moon and all the other planets in the solar system as well. And they look very creepy. I don't really, weird looking. But again, that adds another 8 billion people to the kill count. And finally, we've reached the new flagship series on the Mr. Friend channel, The Moon Wakes Up. And essentially, this is a series focused on astrophobia, where these planets, specifically the moon and other planets in our solar system, wake up, become sentient, and become carnivorous. They grow mouths and eyes, and the moon right here in this video propels right towards Earth and smashes face first into the planet, killing everybody on impact before devouring the planet, which again adds another 8 billion people to the kill count. In total, as far as I could count and cross-referencing with the deaths wiki, that means Mr. Friend so far has killed the Earth 7 times, and each of them have 8 billion people on them, and 8 billion times 7 is about 57 billion people. So that number, 57 billion-ish, puts Mr. Friend squarely in the #1 spot as the internet horror series with the highest kill count. And it's not even close. I don't see anything beating that. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't think anything could beat Monument Mythos in this video until I found Mr. Friend. So good job, dude. Some of you might consider this #1 spot kind of cheating because it's kind of lame, you know, they just eat the Earth, but it's pretty terrifying. The animations are high quality, and I think it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put it in #1. Again, don't read too far into it. I still think it's pretty cool, and the animations are neat. So yeah, that was the end of the video. Let me know if you made it this far. Let me know also if you guessed the #1 spot. I'm sure you didn't, because I never heard of Mr. Friend, but he won the video. Congratulations. Before going into researching this video, I really thought Monument Mythos would be the #1 spot for the series with the most kills. It did make #2, so I'm not too bummed out about that, but #1. Well deserved. 58 billion. That's a big number. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you want a part 2, anything like that. And leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it. I'd really appreciate it. That's the best way to support what I'm doing here on Broogly. If you want to see more videos from me right now, go check out Spoogly, my other channel. It's where I upload documentaries and stuff. It's a pretty good channel. I do say so myself. It's pretty nice. And if you want even more content, go check out my Instagram. Thank you so much for all you do. Tell somebody you love and appreciate them. Life's too short not to. Tune in this week for more content on all my channels. That's all I do. I'm a YouTuber. I make videos. What can I say? I want to keep making videos like this. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully the algorithm enjoys it too. Please, guys, please put me out there. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!